You have a spiritual gift, use it. Well, what if you don't know what your spiritual gift is? Just be around other saints. It'll naturally manifest itself as you're fellowshipping. Okay? But you can't do that if you're not fellowshipping with other saints. There's unfortunately a very bad trend today where it's just, I'll just stay home and I'll listen online. There are some situations where you have to listen online. There are some situations where you don't have any good teaching in your area, so you can only get it online. But you still should be seeking out saints in your area and fellowshipping with them because we still need that connection. Give ourselves to the Lord and other believers. 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 5. This is the desirous will of God. And not only as we have hoped, but they first gave themselves to the Lord and then through the desirous will of God to us. Love does not act in an unbecoming, well, actually, I'm going to jump down there and let me not get that far. Yeah, no, I'm there because I'm talking about giving ourselves to other believers. When it comes to love and loving others, remember, love is long-suffering, love is kind, love is not jealous towards others, love does not parade itself or puff itself up, and it does not behave in an inappropriate manner. When we give ourselves to the Lord and other believers, we're also going to not allow our speech to be something that is going to cause others to stumble. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 and all the way down to 32 really talks about this in context, but he's saying, let no corrupt, that is sapros, rotten words proceed out of your mouth, but what is good, that is beneficial and necessary for edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. Of course, he then goes on to say, stop grieving the Holy Spirit, with whom we are actually sealed. Let all bitterness, inner burning anger, wrath, calamity, blasphemy, all be put away from us, along with anything else that's wrong. And be kind towards one another, tender-hearted, being gracious towards ourselves as Christ was actually gracious towards us. Your word forgive there is gracious, not the right word for forgive. This involves giving ourselves to the Lord and to other believers. Serving the Lord, even with our emotions. Don't get an attitude where I just have to serve the Lord and have a bad attitude about it. No, we do not primarily serve God through our soul, which is the center of our emotions. We need to be very cautious of that. We do not let our soul lead. We don't get to go to church and sing some songs and refresh our soul because emotionally it was just really good and charging. We're not communicating with God in that area. We worship in spirit and in truth. But we are also soulish creatures. That is, we have a spirit and we have a soul. We have an emotional part. God's not saying ignore your emotions. Our emotions should be involved with it, but they should be under control. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 5 through 7 talks about this. Bondservants, be obedient to those who are your masters according to the flesh, with respect and trembling and sincerity of heart as unto Christ, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as bondservants of Christ, doing the desirous will of God out from the soul, enjoying what you're doing. Now they translate it as heart, but it's out from the soul, doing those things that are good and beneficial. We are to be set apart and abstain from fornication. This is something especially the younger generation really needs to understand. Keep yourself pure. That is a proper thing for us as Christians to do. For this is the desirous will of God, your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication, that each of you should know how to possess his own vessel in sanctification and honor, not in the passions of strong desires like the Gentiles who do not know God. But don't follow their patterns. Yes, the Gentiles will actually, those who are unsaved, they will tease you about it. They'll give you a hard time about it. But this is about serving God. This is not about serving ourselves or other people. Be thankful for and in everything. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 18.